Hey, 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 good afternoon, busted babies. So, I am Adina for those of you who are here for the first time and don't know who I am, and you are Beyond the Veil with Adina, obviously. Hey, y'all. So, I just got back home from a few meetings, and I do have homework. I have work to do, but I thought before I get too busy with real estate, I want to go ahead and do a reading. And I was a little bit unsure of what I wanted to read on. I actually recorded one yesterday, but I didn't post it just because when I was doing the reading, I had so many interruptions and it just I didn't feel the vibes. So I ended up deleting it. And so I wasn't sure what I was going to read today, but I was on Instagram while I was using the restroom, like most of us do. And I saw a headline on Neighborhood Talk: DC young fly pleads with thieves who stole his backpack because his girl's death certificate was in there. And I don't know why I just decided to read DC young fly, because that's what I'm about to read. I don't know who he is like that. The most I've ever known from him was when his child's mother passed away. And I didn't read on that simply because I just was not invested in him or those people. And so I didn't really care to read it. However, for some reason, when I saw that headline, because it's almost just like my opinion, this was my opinion as just a regular person like you, I was just like, I'm tired of hearing him reference his girlfriend's death. It's like, for one, why would someone steal this backpack that had your girlfriend's death certificate in it? Why is it in a backpack? Why isn't it somewhere like in a safety deposit box, or like the box where you put all your important documents, or the drawer where you put all your important documents, or things like that? Why is it in a backpack? What else was in that backpack to make someone steal it? I get randomly curious and inquisitive about the most randomest, smallest details, because for me, the devil's always in the details. And so, I don't know, something about it just made me want to read him and how he feels about his deceased child's mother. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right. Before I do so, though, I wanted to start this reading with an oracle card for him. And I am. So I'm just going to conjure him up. And then I'm going to pull an oracle before I do my full spread. DC young fly. 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 I see him in a suit of white. I don't know what color he wore to his baby mama's funeral, but I see him in a white dressed up suit like outfit, like something all white suit jacket, white skinny, with almost tight skinnish pants. I would say fitted pants, not too tight, but fitted, even with a white sweater shirt, turtleneck. That's what I see in my mind. DC young fly, talk to me about how you feel about your child's mother and her death. Talk to me about how you're feeling currently about your child's mother. What was her name? I don't remember. Jackie O. Tell me how you feel about your child's mother, Jackie O, and her death. Was that her name? I think so. The only Jackie O that I know for sure is the one from Dade County, the rapper. But DC Young Fly, may I have an oracle card regarding how you feel about your child's mother's death and how you feel about her, how you feel about her now, how you felt about her at the time, how you're handling her death, even now. Conclusions are within reach. full moon eclipse. Now, he could be close to finding this backpack. However, this isn't what I feel. The full moon, it makes me feel like something that was started prior to now is getting ready to come into fruition. So doing juju, if I want to manifest something, I might start it on a new moon. I might plant that seed on a new moon. And then depending on how big the manifestation is, what I'm trying to accomplish, I might work it consistently throughout the moon cycle until the full moon, where the work would be complete, and then I would just be waiting for the results to come in. This is what I get from this card. That's what it makes me feel like on the bottom. A win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra, full moon eclipse, full moon in Libra. Now, Libra in astrology rules the 7th house. The 7th house of relationships is ruled traditionally by Libra. Maybe your 7th house doesn't fall in Libra, but Libra is the traditional ruler of the 7th house. And the 7th house has to do with relationships of all sort, but it's how we relate with another outside of ourselves. It's right across from the 1st house of self and then the 7th house of relation. So relationships are literally mirrors, situations where we mirror ourselves or mirror circumstances within others that we need to see something within ourselves. Business, friendship, otherwise. I actually want to keep that bottom card. Now, if I look at these together, to be honest, the first thing that came to my mind is the theme of sacrifice. The theme of signing my name, joining a part of this club, and having to lose someone, whether we know who that someone is or whether we don't. This feels like a ritual that started prior to Jackie O's death and will come to full fruition sometime soon. I expect DC Young Fly to reach a new plateau in his career in the near future. Now, this is all alleged, and it's my opinion based on those oracle cards before I even start the real message. And part of the reason why I never read this is because I didn't necessarily want to entertain the different conspiracies out there surrounding DC Young Fly and this girl's death. Believe it or not, I don't want to jump to conspiracies. First off, I know that's crazy for a psychic medium and someone like me who often pulls out rituals and, trafficking and conspiracies in my in my readings. As much as I try to avoid them, I always see them. And it leads me to believe that in that world, the world of the elite, it's common. It's more common than we understand, which is why for us, we don't like to entertain the conspiracy of it. But for them, they live. Like for me, my lifestyle is juju. I don't just, do a little razzle dazzle here and there to manifest, it's my lifestyle. It is my lifestyle. So I live this lifestyle. There are things that I have to do as far as daily routines and rituals, and I have responsibilities in this world. So for me, it's not outlandish to think that there's a different code that the elite live by, because I understand that world and I understand how it's beneficial to those who would want to accomplish some sort of power. All right. So with that being said, DC Young Fly, talk to me about how you feel about your child's mother, Jackie O, how you feel about her death, how you felt about her at the time of her death, how you feel about her now, and what's up with this backpack situation. that has her death certificate in it. What else is in it that would get it stolen? Why are you carrying it around? Talk to me about Jackie O and her presence in your life in the recent past, prior to her death, leading up to now, to today, when you're pleading with someone to bring you back your backpack that they stole because it had her death certificate in it. Talk to me about your child's mother, Jackie O, DC Young Fly. May nothing be hidden from me. May no secrets be concealed. Ashe. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I want to say that losing this backpack is bad news for DC Young Fly. I'm more curious now to know what's in it. Methinks it's something that could expose him in some way. It could be something that someone, if they found, could use to extort him or hold over his head. Allegedly. Challenging him. Now, because this is the family card and it's in reverse, I would like to say it's in reverse and it's in the challenging position. I would like to say that whatever was stolen from him was stolen because it had something to do with his child's mother, and whoever wanted it because either they know something about DC Young Fly or they want to prove something about DC Young Fly and about why his child's mother passed away and how that could possibly elevate his career. The reason his backpack was stolen is because there are things in there that someone knows is in there, and they know that it is more valuable to DC Young Fly for it to not be publicized or in the possession of someone else besides him. With this Nine of Cups in reverse in the recent past, this is not a card of grief, even though it's a card of cups in reverse. The Nine of Cups is about one's wishes being fulfilled, someone getting what they want, while the Ten of Cups is the idea of having it all, family, and having a family where everybody is happy and life is great, roses and butterflies and rainbows. The Nine of Cups deals more with someone in particular, someone's selfish desires. Not saying that having your own desires is selfish, but this deals with one getting what they want. Sometimes by any means necessary. Sometimes you get what you want and the means that you get them are okay. Sometimes you get what you want and the means may not be the best, which is why there's a red curtain behind here. Now, why is this red, the color of blood, behind one person getting what they want? Makes you think. But this in reverse, someone did not get what they want despite sacrifices that they made to get there. It gives me the impression that DC Young Fly allegedly had done other things prior to his baby mama passing away to get put on, and it wasn't enough. It didn't get him far enough. He did allegedly, because I feel it in my rear end, I feel like he offered himself up sexually, allegedly. That didn't get him where he needed to go. He did some of the other things, and I'm not sure what some of the other things are, but he did other things to get him put on. They didn't work. He did the one thing, and it started to work, but for some reason, it didn't plateau him the way he intended it to. Even though we did see him come up in his career a little bit after the death of his child mother, whether that was directly related or not, I'm of the opinion that it is, based on what I see here in these cards. Before, I was unbiased. However, it didn't take him where exactly he wanted to go. So wherever we see him now in his career, it still isn't where he was trying to get to. It's like it wasn't enough. And on top of that, now someone has something that he doesn't want him to have. It's almost like the ritual or the sacrifices that he made to get put on are backfiring. Now, before I see the rest of these cards, DC Young Fly, if you ever watch this, I'm going to just let you know. And this is how unbiased I am, because I don't have to agree with the means that people go through to gain success. However, because I'm just an unbiased reader here, you didn't ask me to read you. I pulled your cards in here, so I can't judge you for that. Typically, rituals like this, of this type, DC Young Fly, you go through a period of, it looks like nothing's happening, and then it looks like the worst is happening. And then as everything starts to fall completely apart, there's a break, a glow of light on the horizon of darkness. And then your life changes. It seems to me that you're going through the period of decay, because this ritual, even though it's a sacrificial one and you sacrifice someone else, you too, because that juju is so strong and so potent, you too go through a death and rebirth period, while that person goes through a literal death, transition, and being reborn on the other side. So do you. The old you decays. The movie Starry Eyes, I think that's the one comes to mind. Watch that, because that's a very accurate representation of how these high level, high potency, magical, sacrificial blood, human blood sacrifice rituals go through. Even in that movie, the girl went through the ritual and then nothing seemed like it was anything different from her regular life. And then she started to realize that she started to rot and decay, literally. And then she literally died and then was reborn out of the ground. Like that was a part of the ritual. She was reborn and she had new skin and everything. Well, this is what it looks like you're going through. You went through a period where you saw mild results and you're like, okay, it's working. But that was only the first sparks of the juju. You seem like you are now going through the decaying process where it seems like it's backfiring. So now I'm going to continue with the rest of his reading, because I won't be surprised if I see good cards coming up in his future and his outcomes. All right, near future. Page of Swords. DC Young Fly is awaiting a response. He has his feelers out. He's looking. He's looking for those missing items, and he's awaiting for the message that he sent out to be received and responded to. It makes me feel like he has ideas of who could have it based on who he was around to be near his items. So it's not like I could have been anywhere and anyone could have it. He put that message out there because he knows that the person who has it will hear him. Again, in his mind, I think that he has an idea of who could have it based on who is around him, but I think that there were other things in there. I don't know if there was a laptop or a computer in there, or something in there that could show something from a party that he was at. This gives me, it could have been taken at a party that he was at or having at his house that he was hosting. But this again makes me feel like there's only a select few people who he was alone with that could have had it. I don't know if he feels like it's one of her friends, Jackie O's friends, possibly. Now, I do believe that something regarding her death was in there. He said that her death certificate was in there. Could have been that. Me is curious now about what is on the death certificate. I don't know if it's ever been released publicly. I know something like that would be a public record. But why someone would want that? Because if this is a so below position, it doesn't seem like he's concerned about other things that are in there. This is in his so below position. This card dealing with his baby mother's death. He wants that back. Now, he can pay for another copy of that. It's not like the original copy is the only copy that he could have. So why it's so important enough for him to just be like, well, people know what she died from. I can get another copy. Nothing else of value was in that backpack. What else was in that backpack, and what exactly did the original document that you had say? Again, he went online, because this is his advice or current actions position. He went online to speak to the parties that he suspects has his documents. He needs them back. He's willing to pay. This gives extortion. This gives, I know what you did last summer and I'm willing to expose it because I have the receipts. Unless you pay me. This is about her death, Jackie O's death. I would have liked to get the death card instead of the sacrifice card, because this person is hanging from a tree. There is something in that book bag that could enlighten us a little bit about the dynamics between DC Young Fly and his child's mother. I don't know, DC Young Fly. You're going to have a hard time getting to where you're trying to go. And I'm anxious to see why, because you've done what you needed to do, I believe. And I could be wrong. But you know what I don't see here? I don't see cards of grief. I don't see any card of grief here. Any card of grief or past grief. Not even the recent past with the Nine of Cups in reverse. The only way this would give me genuine grief about losing his child's mother is if he could have benefited from her being alive. And now that she's gone, he doesn't benefit. I don't see that though. Because he was the more famous party. His trajectory was more, he had a more further trajectory in the industry than she did. So her death wouldn't have stopped him in any way from getting to where he needed to go. Other than that, I don't see any cards of genuine grief. I probably should still see some card in here alluding to him just getting past grief. I don't though, which is why I'm shocked to see that his outcome is that he's still gonna have some challenges getting to where he's going, reaching the plateaus. It's almost like this sacrifice was in vain. Knight of Pentacles reverse. I'm going to start with clarifying the outcome because I'm curious and perplexed as to why this is in reverse for you. There seems to be a woman who will not let DC Young Fly be great. A woman who knows things about what was done in the dark, about the behind the scenes things that DC Young Fly could have possibly done to get put on. This could possibly be a woman in Jackie O's, here's the death card, offered up someone from his family, someone that it actually wouldn't hurt him too bad to lose. This would be my card of grief that I would expect to see. But this, it's almost like it didn't hurt him too bad to lose Jackie O for gain and greed. It didn't hurt him too bad to lose her. He had no intentions of marrying her and going the long haul with her in the first place. She was a means to an end. He offered her up. And there's someone, a woman, could possibly be someone, a friend or a relative of Jackie O. Who knows? She could possibly be the one with that book bag or whatever it is that he has that he doesn't want them to have. She would be someone that would be close enough to him to get access to documents about Jackie O. Let me look into this High Priestess reverse, because that would be in reverse. If it was upright, I would say this would be secrets that are going to be revealed. In reverse, this is secrets, plotting behind one's back, something that we don't know about. It's not fully public yet. A conspiracy, so to speak. The High Priestess reverse is a conspiracy. It's like the conspiracy is that this person is attempting, they're doing the best job that they can to be strong and push through, be the strong one for them, their family, and everyone else. But there's no genuine grief because there's genuine greed. Here's one card of greed. Here's another card of greed. Self-serving greed. Someone knows that DC Young Fly was only faking being strong. You know, I don't know what all he said. I'm just trying to be strong and push through. Some of the things that he said after the death of his child's mother. Someone allegedly feels strongly. I don't know if I can legally say knows, but someone feels strongly. Someone knows, a woman, that all of that was a front. And behind the front, here's the kids. Lying to the kids. I see the kids will never know what really happened to their mother for real in real life. I wouldn't be surprised if there's someone in Jackie's family or in her close friend circle who doesn't want the kids with DC Young Fly because they feel like he's responsible for their mother's death. Did not want to pay child support. Here's the father card, the upstanding father. King of Pentacles in reverse, this card of greed. Behind this card of greed is this card of the Lovers. DC, his child's mother. And because it's the Lovers card, it gives me sacrifice card. The Lovers, the Moon, Seven of Wands. It makes me feel like the circumstances were set up perfectly and imperfectly. Because there's magic involved, I like to tell people that you have to meet Juju halfway. So when you get Juju done, the results work better when you work with the magic. If you're trying to manifest $1 million, well, where is that $1 million going to come from? Either you need to be playing the lottery, or you need to be in an environment where the $1 million can come. If you work at McDonald's, maybe figure out how to find an environment where that $1 million can come from and implant yourself there. There was some effort put on his part to make the juju work, but some details were magical. But I see effort on his part to set things up for success. Set the circumstances up so that the magic could happen. And what I mean is, if you need to sacrifice someone for fame, but you don't want to actually pull the trigger or use the knife yourself or do the dirty work yourself, you can do the ritual, and then you can set up all the circumstances to make someone fall into a trap. Dig a hole, cover it up where the person is going to walk so that they walk right over it and then fall into your trap. That's what this is. And this woman here, the Queen of Swords, she knows. I don't know if she was in on it or if she went with Jackie O. I think this is a woman who went with Jackie O, and I think that she was an aunt. I don't know if she was told to go with Jackie O by DC Young Fly in case she got sick. It was almost like if this lady it wasn't in on it at some point and is extorting DC Young Fly, then she's had time to put two and two together. Her being suggested by DC Young Fly to go with Jackie just to make sure in case she gets sick, if that's what he said, she could be thinking about that too now. I definitely see some juju going on. I'm just not sure if this woman was aware of what she was getting herself into, participating in this, and then hoping for some kind of payout for being involved, and then not getting everything that she wanted from DC Young Fly because things aren't moving along as fast enough for him. So now she's willing to extort him, but he could possibly really not have it, or she was used to be a part of this setup and she's putting two and two together. All right. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I want to look into that. Methinks there is something. I'm curious. I am so curious about the doctor's, the medical report, the version he had. Or the doctor that Jackie O, who did her surgery. Avoiding. There's a reason that the doctor avoided being responsible for anything. And I think that would be somewhere in the verbiage of her official reports. Something about her recovery wasn't right. There's a reason the doctor was not held responsible. Someone else possibly could be held responsible, like her family or whomever arranged her care. I see that her death could have been avoided, but she complained to someone, the person that she was with, she complained to them. The woman who she was with, she complained to them, but they prevented, on purpose, they prevented getting her help with this strength card. This woman is preventing this lion from doing what a lion does. And that's be strong and healthy and bold and courageous and ravenous. The woman that she was with prevented medical care. She waited. She waited a little while so that what needed to be done could be done. She stalled. I get this is an extortion attempt on DC Young Fly from the woman who was with Jackie O when she passed away. Let me look into this challenge, her not going to the hospital, actually. I don't know if there was some struggles with her heart, blood clots, inducing a heart attack possibly. But her not getting proper medical care in time and directly after her surgery is exactly why she's not here. And even if she didn't go to a hospital, if that person who she complained to about her discomforts and not feeling well had have gotten attention when she asked, because I specifically hearing her ask, can you call a doctor? Can you call a nurse? And the person was stalling so that this could happen the way it was supposed to happen. I see some type of restriction, and I think I heard blood clots being tossed around, but I see something blocking blood flow, possibly to the heart, something like that. There was a blockage of blood flow in her veins, arteries, maybe. Multiple. Let me look into the Six of Pentacles. I may stop there. Because she was offered up, and someone close to her was also approached to help. Because they were in on it. They were in on the plan, the arrangement. I don't know if this person was also having sex with DC Young Fly. This person wants to get paid for overlooking, for their participation in what happened. They want to be paid. This is why he is pleading for that backpack. And it's almost like DC hasn't paid them because he hasn't reached the plateau that he thought he would. So he doesn't have the money or the resources that he thought he would be able to offer this person. It's almost like he dodges communication with them because he doesn't really want to deal with them right now. He's too focused on trying to get the outcome for the sacrifices he made, but he doesn't have it to give to this person yet. And so he's dodging, you know, basically running off on the plug, dodging the person that he owes. There's something he's concerned with being leaked by the person who had it. Almost like, if you don't pay me, I'm going to start leaking things. And there's something that if we knew, we would probably look at him differently as it relates to Jackie's death. I don't know if he paid for the surgery, if he called the doctor, if he called something himself. There's something he did himself as far as the doctor or, you know, the surgery itself. I don't know if he funded it. I don't know if he encouraged her to do it. Knowing that she would because she was insecure after having kids. But he knew he would. He knew that he can say certain things or plant certain things in her mind or do things like flirt with women that she worked with on the set, knowing that she'd do it and become insecure so that when he it's almost like he played on her insecurities on purpose, knowing what the outcome would be. And then when she mentioned, hey babe, do you think I should get surgery? Well, you know, I think you look great as you are, but if you want to do it, you know, because it makes you feel good, I'd do anything to support you. I pay for it. Not that it's something that she want, but if he's intentionally saying things to make her insecure, doing things, pretending like he doesn't see her seeing him, flirting with someone, now she's internalizing it. And then she comes along with the bright idea, hey babe, do you think I should, you know, get my tummy tuck? And then he's like, finally. Oh yeah, no, babe, I think you look good. But you know what I'm saying? This is Hollywood, and you know, there are new girls every day. So I support you. I support a woman. You know, it's your body, your rights. Do what you want to do. I'll even pay for it. And there you go. That's what I have for this DC Young Fly reading. While you will continue to struggle on your climb, to the top, DC Young Fly, because I don't know if there's something left undone or if there's some more that needs to be done that you don't necessarily know if you want to do because you have somebody willing to extort you. I think you're a little bit scared now. Let me get one more card, almost of advice for DC Young Fly. I don't know why I want to give you advice, but I'm curious to see if you did get an advice card. I'm curious, what would the advice be for you? Spirit, may I have an advice card for DC Young Fly based on his outcome? Based on his outcome, if I were reading DC Young Fly to give him advice, what advice would we be able to give DC Young Fly to help him overcome his mounting challenges that I see in his energy? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You've done some, you've done a dark, dirty deed. Something that cannot be undone. Something that you can be attached to vis-a-vis receipts. So the only advice that Spirit can give you, since the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse and this is the Wheel of Fate, something that is out of our control. Some things we can influence in life. Some things are out of our control. Once the wheels have been set in motion, the outcome will be based on your cause. The causes that you put in motion, you'll reap the effects. This is cause and effect, and this is fate outside of our control. Based on the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the only thing you can do, DC Young Fly, is prepare for a series of L's. I don't know what this looks like to you, but you got some bad karma coming from somebody that Jackie O is working through. It's like the energy for your sacrifice to manifest the way you want it to is being blocked. There's a possibility that somebody went and did juju on you. Maybe Jackie O's relative. Maybe it is the lady that was there. Maybe she wasn't involved but realizes that she was a tool. Although I do see stalling. Somebody is working on Jackie O's behalf because they don't like you, DC Young Fly, and they don't like, on behalf of her kids, I feel, how you offered up her mother, offered up their mother, because you will not, cannot care for her children the way she did and could while you're chasing fame. You were being greedy. You didn't want to get big, where you're trying to go, Kevin Hart big, and have her attached via child support. You wanted a Hollywood wife that was in, you know, she knows the rules and the regulation, and whatever she's owed is going to be agreed upon. But she has to play by the rules too. So you're not worried about that. Jackie O was not one of the Hollywood vetted girls. So she couldn't go where you were going, and you knew to be put where you were put, you were going to get one of the Hollywood club wives, and you didn't want to have to pay Jackie O for 3 babies in the future once you start making Kevin Hart money. I don't think you're going to get there, DC Young Fly. Energetically, spiritually, there's working against you on Jackie O's behalf. Good luck with yourself. You're also going to have a hard time with that woman who knows that you're involved, because the more famous you are and the more you ignore her and not paying her, the more she's going to continue to be a thorn in your side. So with that being said, DC Young Fly, that is my reading for you. This lady could have lived. This lady could have lived. That's why the doctor was not prosecuted. It wasn't his fault. He did the surgery and he did it the way he was supposed to. Afterwards, though, that's where things got messy, and they were messy on purpose. All right, well, You guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to get to work. I may be back later. If not, love you. Bye.